sun shed at the park. We'll see how the wind and the birds, if it's not too loud. You'll have to let me know when you show up. Howdy. Yeah, by the way, I'm Zen. If you're new here, probably suggest go to my other channel and look at one of my old videos. You probably, because we'll see. This is usually off the cuff. At least the earlier ones had a little bit of form to them. What to discuss today? That's why I put insert creative title. We'll figure it out when it gets here, whether it's someone in the comments or yo. What's up, Ninja? What should be the topic today? It's Tuesday, and I really wanted it was supposed to be nice today. It's really overcast. Took a little bit of the helium out of the balloon, you know. A little windy. So you guys gotta let me know if the sound is okay. Oh yeah, the salt. Yeah, I don't know what that is, you know, because there's always. Usually it's the other way around. So like at bars, they'll put salt, like salted peanuts, salted whatever, and the salt will dehydrate you and make you thirsty. But I don't know. I mean, if it's the other way around for you, I don't know. I don't know. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Mr. Campbell? What's up, Divine Light? It is sunshiny, and today it is 70s. Overcast, but tomorrow's supposed to be super nice, which is awesome because it's going to be a wacky Wednesday where I can take you to all of the cool things that are open tomorrow that are free to locals. And then this weekend there's going to be a big party. I gotta look it up yet. But it's at City Park because they're like already fencing off most of the park for Crescent City. Like it's a pretty big run for people into that running business. But then obviously afterwards there's a huge after party. And so there'll probably be stages with bands and shit. I'll try to check that out. Mr. Mannion, what's going on? Feeling very, you know that place of no mind, just not bothering thinking about anything. I try to watch a couple TV shows. I tried to watch a couple YouTube channels, and I was just like, I'd rather just stare at paint dry. But in this case, it's an upgrade because I can stare at these beautiful palm trees. Oh yeah, it's called Crescent City Classic. I gotta look it up. That's Saturday. Yes. And it's gonna start to get quite warm out here, which I'm very excited for. And a lot of you do not enjoy the sunshine so much. I require it. I'd rather be sweating than need a hoodie. What is in my cup today? It is a homemade elixir of, let's see, I used hibiscus flower, rose, and a red berry. I forget what berry it was. It's quite good. And then a little bit of ginger simple syrup, and then a little vodka. That's what we're doing. And this is the coolest cup ever because it's a coffee cup, but instead of just clicking on, it screws on. So I don't gotta worry about like really it falling off or spilling or shit. Pretty slick. Dollar store win. It's so garbage. Well, it's kind of cool because I didn't really like the thing that was on it, but the printing is already coming off, which is fine. Good luck with that. What's up, John? Late. Well, I don't know. We haven't really got into anything yet. I was Today is an auspicious day. Huh. I had strange dreams last night, but then again, I just started watching this really crazy Disney show. It's like it's one of the lesser known Marvel characters, I guess. It's called Dark Moon or something. Anybody know this? Anybody got Disney Plus? Called Dark Moon. It's really good, but it's quite a psychological kind of weird thing. But the guy's basically he's living multiple timelines at once, and there's this crazy thing where he goes to bed at night, but he'll wake up in another reality. But for him, it's as real as the one that he's kind of placed in. And it's all based off of him working at a funny enough, working at a like a giant museum. It's kind of got like Night of the Museum vibes, and it's all like pharaohs and things. And oddly enough, right now, at our museum here, it's come see Nefertiti. It's like they travel from city to city, and they do these larger events. And so they're paid. Those are the paid for ones. But yeah, it's Nefertiti right now. Anyways, the show is pretty awesome. Which as soon as I'm watching, I'm like, I know better than watch before I go to bed, because I'm gonna have some wacky dreams and maybe get out of body in some crazy, and which I did. But fun times. Good show. Highly suggest it, but I would watch it. I wouldn't watch it before bed unless you're actively participatory in getting out of body or astrally traveling or projecting. If you're not, I wouldn't suggest it. Only because it's like you watch. I wouldn't call it scary by any means, but it's trippy. Ninja. Well, I don't know. I mean, I suggested people to watch the. I forget what her name is now. Catherine Pitts, and she does a whole thing on how governments do not exist anywhere, and the banks and all of the three-letter agencies control everything. But even something like Amazon is controlled by other agencies, which are still underneath the thumb of the practices of world banks and things. So yeah, it could be, but then again, I mean, how long has Disney been around? It's just, I mean, that's the new hot ticket button, right? Everything Disney's 666 and is Walt Disney, and Walt Disney played Hitler. And if you look at the map of Disney World, you might see something really interesting. There's somebody that does a whole series on the map of Disney World being a map of this realm, and it's pretty intense, pretty good stuff. I mean, everybody's you gotta what's the current design and framework that's being propagated into your mind, right? It's how you doing? Initially it was whatever was going on 2 years ago, and then there was that so like this chick that just walked by. I think she's probably working. She's wearing a yellow and a golden blue striped shirt, but it's on black and it says something on it. I couldn't tell what it said, but now that's in your consciousness, right? That thing, and then then you gotta have the Disney thing in there. So they just drag your brain all over the realm into things that you really don't know the first thing about. Like people immediately they thought they knew what the thing was going on with the C word, the CV. Like they do one cursory overview, not knowing the first thing about pharmaceuticals, medicine, or the business, or what's going on with that, and then they think they know everything, you know. And then they're like, oh, they now everybody's like, hey, support blue and gold. Like, why? Are you sure? Are you positive of that? Why is it so interesting to me that I see more blue and gold flags than I see American flags? And I live in America. Why don't I see? It's kind of, it kind of confronts a stark reality that these people's brains aren't their own, and they're just getting dragged around through the muck. Like watching it and observing it. I've explained this before. When I lived in Baltimore, I learned this really interesting word from people that worked at the airport, and they would always say, "What are you looking at?" Like we'd be watching TV. I thought it was watching, and they said, "Well, what are you looking at?" So they made a sharp distinction that they were looking at something as it was a separate thing. Watching something is like the watch; it controls you. It cycles you through something. I don't know if they knew the level of what they were saying, but they said, "What are you looking at?" If we were watching TV in the break room, they said, "What are you looking at?" So people are so invested into the things they're told to. If I just look at it, I go, "Oh, I know this story. I know this book. I know how this plays out. Like I know what they're doing." That's fine to do, but people that are under they're very impressionable by imagery, and all of that. If you don't control your mind, we will do it for you. Oh man, John, I don't know, man. That's a really like out of left field, crazy question. But I guess I don't know where you've been like mentally lately. But uh, any punctuation that you do into your spine, like you're already piercing through an auric field and then into something else. I mean, it could be helpful. There's certain reasons. I mean, obviously, people get tattoos, people get acupuncture, but deeper seated, like taking fluid and doing things. That's off the cuff, out of my expertise. Like if you feel like you need to do it, fucking go for it. But at the same time, as long as you trust where you're at, as long as you trust these people to make a diagnostic onto your temple, if you can't do it, you know. But yeah, man, that's what's a skull? Yeah, hey, Divine, I would agree with Divine here. I mean, I say, do what you think you need to do. Do what feels right. Me, I would. Me. If that was somehow part of no, like even the practice of getting acupuncture or getting a tattoo or something, there's something there, and you're putting something into your like I can see some of my tattoos on other realms glowing, so I know that work was done for a reason. Now, piercing through and cutting into an auric can be releasing of something bad, but and obviously piercing into your skin, any type of needlework, it could also be something that could enter something into your body, because once it's opening, it can go either way, right? Yeah, I mean, what it? Hey, just I would say it this way, John. The fact that you're questioning it should tell you enough of your own answer that you already know. But if you really are, like, if reality or whatever's going on, psychic phenomenon, and you're like this, and you trust what the people you're working with or dealing with, I mean, go for it. I've shit. I mean, growing up, I was jabbed and prodded and poked at thousands of times. I had organs cut out, not of my own volition. And as an educated adult, I've chosen to, you know, put needles and artwork onto my skin. Would I let somebody put a needle and experimental fluid in me? No. I have a hard enough time taking, pills in general. I mean, sometimes they're fun if I know where I'm getting them, right? But to go the realm of sounds like a lot, man. I would just go with whatever your instinct was initially, what your gut is, and the fact that you're asking the question already says that you already know the answer. I mean, I would, obviously, again, I don't know where else you've interacted or who else you've interacted with, but like a really good acupuncturist or somebody that deals with trigger point therapy and things, that can release a lot of physical, psychological, mental tensions and things without doing any damage. Yeah, it's a tough one, man. I'd lean with divine here though. Hmm. Like it's funny because I really legitimately don't even know what that is. I'm taking a stab at it contextually. Like if I look it up and it looks if it's invasive, probably I'd stay away from that. You know, it's like somebody, we need to give you a prostate exam. No, you don't. You're just a nasty motherfucker that wants to dominate somebody and stick your finger up their ass, because that immediately puts them in a position of a dominator. Because if somebody gets older, I'll tell you what happens. Somebody gets older, and they don't really want, they care not to go to the doctor. You know how old people are always like that? Fuck that, I'm not going to the doctor. Da, 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 da. Well, oh, you got to get your prostate exam. Right around the time that they would just get, no, then they go to the doctor. Hey, let me tell you who's in control here. Sticks his finger up your ass. You think that's not true? You think that's not why? You think you get on an airline and the reason you need to put a seatbelt on and go through that whole thing is for safety? No, it's not. It's to control you, which in the way you're on an airline and you should be, at least respectful. And if you're not, they should use forms of psychological manipulation to keep people, relaxed on an airline and feel comfortable and safe. But the reality of it is why they're doing it is not for safety. It's to control people. Because as far as I know, the chances that you've ever seen a real plane hit the crash into something is probably pretty minimal. It would have to be amateurs flying, things that they could screw up and pilot their little Cessna or whatever like that. Those happen, no doubt. Flying in bad conditions, these things can happen. But as far as like major airlines, no. I'm thinking it's way less than you could even even at what's told to you, like a 10% of that, maybe. Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, Ninja, we'll fucking just holler at me today and we'll get into it. I mean, I don't mind doing it on here. I would start with just a couple online books, just to get you a little idea of, maybe get into like a home brewery. Maybe get onto Reddit and go to like home brewing, and there'll be like a page. Here's what you need lined up in order better than I could tell you off the top of my head, or some sort of like website with people that are home brewers, and it'll give you some ideas. I would definitely buy the book Herbal and Healing Beers by Stephen Buhner. I think that's a huge thing that everyone should know about, instead of just brewing something because it tastes good. That's what the German purity laws are. And go into like why people were playing with ferments and things, the history of it, and some simple brewing processes. But I mean, I've brewed before. You really don't need a lot. But once you get into it, then you're gonna go, oh, it'd be nicer if I had this. It'd be nice if I had this. Hey, maybe I can upgrade this. You might be able to go on like there's all sorts of people that get into it and then find out that they're not going to do it. They it's too much of their time, etc., etc. You go on to like Craigslist. You could probably find someone's equipment on there. I found a lot of 5 gallon glass bottles on there. Normally, they're upwards of, I don't know, $40, and I was getting them for like $12 a piece because they're like. So I got like 20 of them because I was also harvesting water, which is a whole nother thing. But yeah, you get a get a big enough and do it outside. That's a major thing. Get all the equipment to do it outside. Don't do it stovetop, because one time you have an overboil and you're gonna make a mess that you don't want to have to clean up. Ooh, ooh, that's fun. That's funny, Skull, that you just said that, because that's what I thought it was. Um, that's funny because I was just watching a comedy today. Well, not a comedy, but a couple comedians talk about. It was Joe List and who was what the hell is his name? Theo Vaughn. And Theo Vaughn was talking about getting bone. He was getting his bone marrow tested, and he was, because he always kind of just dives real deep into jokes. If you know who he is, and he's talking about getting your bone marrow tested, and Joe was like, "Well, why would you do that?" And he goes, "Well, I think I was," and he just goes, "Well, he would know why you would get that done." He goes, and then Joe's like, "Yes, I'm also a professional liar. I'm a comedian." Like, yeah. Oh, so that's a spinal tap. Oh, then the answer is unequivocally zero chance. No way. I mean, that's putting a hole into the source code of your reality, basically. Your cerebral spinal fluid, your semen, the shit that's supposed to go to your skull, dude. I mean, you're nope, not gonna happen. It seems I would like to. It's kind of like getting a fucking lobotomy, apparently. I mean, if that's obviously not doing the same thing, but energetically, I bet afterwards you probably have lost an inordinate amount of life energy. It's kind of like when you come afterwards, you're fucking weak and lazy. They're just like pulling out literally the shit that makes your semen and your cerebral spinal fluid. Seems like easier ways to get it. Yeah, now I gotta look that up, man, and see what are they analyzing? Anal eyes? They're diagnostic. Diagnostic comes from the word diagnosis. It means to split something in half because they don't know the answer. So they give you a diagonal of something. Just cut that right in, because they don't know. And so everything about the practice is burn, cut, and poison. And obviously extraction of fluids for analyzation, as they're gonna go stick their finger up your ass too. This just doesn't sound like anything that Mother Earth or anyone on this realm would consider a holistic, quality, safe. Why would you do that? I can't even. Could you even consider the idea of how would you get to the point of thinking sticking a needle in anyone is a good idea for anything? Because you'd have to make the needle first, right? And there'd be a whole process of that, and then it's weird, man. Like, if that's why you got to do it, I think you made a mistake. If you like drugs and sticking them in your mouth or up your ass or how creams or how that, if that's not doing enough for you, and you gotta resort to needles, ugh, It makes me sick. You know, go get allergy tests. Ugh, it hurts my arm thinking about it. I got 3, 6, 9, 12. I don't know if I got 50 or 100 in the same day. Just like a pin cushion, just to see what my parents would let them put me through at 11 years old. Yeah, Divine. Yeah. Thanks for looking that up. I would, I would. I didn't realize that's what it was referring to. They give it a fancy name. Remember how George Carlin says they'll take something simple and give it a fancier name so it confuses people. Boof and drugs, skull. Yeah, I've only done it once or twice. I mean, is it awesome? Sure, but like there is the extra intensity plus it doesn't last as long, and the fact that you have to shove a finger in your anus, which is, I don't know, you could be into that. I'm just saying, if it ain't working for you, just consuming it where normally you consume it, seems like you might be doing a little too much. You call it boofing? I thought, well, we call it hooping. Hooping. I guess it's a new language. Boofing and hooping. Boofing and hooping. Doing some roofing on the weekends. Oh my God, I got fucking mobbed by the ducks today. Like, straight mobbed by them. So I was walking over in direction I don't normally come from, and the two that really know me just start waddling at a very fast pace directly at me, and I'm like across the. They don't come to where I was. Like, they normally stay in this little area. They might cross over here, but I'm a good 50 yards away, and then all of a sudden the other ducks seen, so they're running over to me, and then I'm sitting on the ground trying to feed them, and this one gets underneath my arm, so I'm like holding it and feeding it, which was awesome. And this other guy, he kept pecking at my shoulder, trying to get me to feed him first. And then I was like, oh, it was fucking nuts. It was a good 25 ducks and another 20 big Canadian geese. One of them would jump in my lap. The other two were just running all over my shoes, like not giving a shit. Is that a James Bond reference? Because I wouldn't have that reference. You've said that to me before. Chivago? It sounds like a James Bond reference. I don't know, but I don't know. Those are a little before me in the movie Kingdom. So like Octopussy shit. I mean, I've seen most of them, I guess, but not with like, you know, when you watch a movie for entertainment, it is wildly different experience than if you're watching it for, like, let me see what's going on here. You're kind of dissecting it and you watch it in a different way. Oh, that's right. It was Dr. Zhivago. Yes. I'm sure he was there. I think I remember which one. Yes. Well, there's the white one with the crooked beak, and there's the white one that he hangs out with which has the hair. Then there's the white one without the hair, and then there's the white one, and these are the bigger ones with the instead of the beak being yellow or orange, it's yellow with spots on it. And then there's the blue guy, and then there's the brown guy. The blue guy and the brown guy are always all up in my shit. And then the one with the crooked beak is always near me. But today, the other one got right underneath my arm and let me put my arm around it and feed him like that, and I pet him. I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I will check it out. It's an old love story. Yeah, days like this, you know, you got to deal with them sometimes. But like the overcast like it's kind of just saying I'm going to rain, but it's not going to. It's always kind of. Eh. I mean, New Orleans is the strangest place because seriously, it could be 95, no clouds in the sky, and all of a sudden it just starts raining. But it'll rain for two minutes, and then it stops raining. Sun's back out. There's like one cloud in the sky, and say, hey, we'll just rain in this part, which is nice because you get that. It cools you down. You get that nice cold rain for a second. But like today is like, okay, you got 3 warm days with sunshine. I'm just gonna make it cloudy for a day. Oh, everybody here, you're welcome to thumbs up this kind of stuff if you've enjoyed so far, either because I'm nice to look at, or because I'm funny or helpful, or just because you like being you like being considerate. Feel free, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all that. It's in the description box. Ooh. Oh, you've been watching Eric Andre? Have you been watching his show? Because I remember I as soon as I found his show, because I've known of him, and then I spent like a week. I was like, I'm just eating everything up that he does. He's a goof, man. And then I got into like some of the ones where he's like in a room full of comedians, but he's you can tell he's just, and he even says it. He's like, I'm so uncomfortable, and he'll just do the weirdest things like he's a kid. like I'm like, what kind of drugs are you on right now? He's got a very Tim and Eric vibe, but that's just him. Like Tim and Eric are doing it out of goofiness on purpose. They know what they're doing. He's just like that. Yeah, the show is really good. His movie did. I wasn't a big fan of. It was okay. But his show, yeah. I like when he tells the stories about like how many times did he's like, dude, a few times I was fearing for getting my ass whooped. So like him and Sacha Baron Cohen put themselves in like they're like, okay, this is I've crossed some boundaries here. It was this dude would ranch it up, fucking ranch it up, boss. and as funny as the skits are, the editing makes them even a little more funny, Eddie can take something that's very, very just funny, watching it, and turn it into pure gold. He reminds me of like something that what's his name, Primetime 99, Alex Stein, who trolls the shit out of all of these school boards and political things, whatever, where you can come in and talk, and so he trolls the mess out of them. But what he does is, no matter how ridiculous the bit, he sticks to it. No matter how cringy it is, that he knows that if he gets through the bit, the fact that he stuck with it will turn it into funny. Where like at first you're like, oh man, this is, and then you go, okay, and then it becomes funny because the people that he is trolling can't even recognize that he's making fun of them directly, all in their face, to the things that they believe, like, and he's so over the top with it. The fact that they don't get it makes it even funnier. Yes, Carl, you seen him? Oh, he did one today where he went out of character, and he just started calling everybody in the room cowards. Because they were trying to silence people from speaking. They cut down, like, you couldn't speak for 3 minutes anymore, you could only speak for 1. So he's like, you're a bunch of cowards, and he just started like, it was nice. He's like, if you're not gonna take my comedy and chew on it a little bit and work with it, like. Hey Dave, the cloudy day embraces the hot sunny days. Yeah, yeah, like it's nice. Like I don't I like it because it gives me days off that I don't feel I didn't feel obligated. Like yesterday, it was good. I didn't feel obligated to go out. It was rainy. It was overcast, and I was like, good. I need a day off anyways from doing anything interacting with the public. And today I was like, well, okay, this is nice. I can still go out, but it's so cloudy. I don't really have to deal with people. I'm not gonna have to talk to anyone. I'm not gonna have to interact with another human being unless I want to. I play with some ducks. Now I'm sitting down and talk to you guys. You guys are barely human. Ugh. But it's kind of windy today, so there's some people at the park. They got some kites out, which is cool. Yeah, it's like it's a weather-induced holiday. Now, normally people go on a holiday when it's sunny. I'm working hard when it's sunny outside. I mean, it's hard goddamn work being this awesome, you know? It's hard work being out and interacting with people. It's hard work. Anybody that can just do it, congratulations. It's hard work for people. So I get the off days are the wah wah wah, the cloudy. Oh yeah, I would probably do that, but as my budget has been severely limited recently, I had to I had to buy vodka and make homemade mixers. Like I couldn't. I went out and spent way too much money for 2 weeks, and then bought some people some gifts, and overspent. So, oh well. instead of drinking the beers I want all day, I gotta get a cheap bottle of vodka. get some rubbing alcohol. I hear you in the stouts, man. That makes sense. A cloudy day. I mean, normally it's seasonal, but I drank a stout the other day. It was too hot and it was so much and so sweet that I was like, oh, I don't think I can get through this. It was the day I got the llama beer. I don't know if you remember that. And so I went back the next day to get any more 6-packs. They were out, so I couldn't get that llama flavor, that great llama flavor. Foiled. Do you ever consider where exactly you fit into this whole shit? Like where you'd be employable at? I think about that, through the years, the jobs and things that I've done, and what of those things could I ever imagine doing again? There's not too many of them. There's not too many things I could imagine, like, that 9 to 5, or that like here's the hours and when you got to do what you got to do, and I couldn't imagine it. Like I feel like I would end up in an insane asylum, like for real. I probably couldn't make it through 2 days of full time. Like, you got to go do this, and here's your. A lot of it is the bosses suck because they are often not the smartest person in the room. But you got to listen to them tell you what to do, and you're like, you telling me how to do this? No, I've done this before. I actually there was a time I was working for somebody, building a house, and they started telling me what to do. I'm like, you realize I owned a business top to bottom doing this, and I'm helping you right now, and you're going to tell me how to do something? Like, you don't even know what you're doing. You spackled your bathroom once, and then somebody asked you to do a job for them, and I'm helping you. Like, what's up, Unsense? Welcome to the ugly people. All the ugly ones. Come on, you have to have those days, right? You know, the days that you're like, some days I'm like, oh man, nothing is out of reach for me. No conversation, no woman, nothing. It's all anything it's I'm good today. And there's other days I'm like, oh, you are a piece of shit, aren't you? You're a real piece of work, buddy. You know, that self-talk. And it's like there's no and I look in the mirror and then like you know that thing that people have where they have like they negative self-view or whatever where they have body dysmorphia. It's like it's so weird because some days I look in the mirror and I go, damn, I'm good. I'm good looking. Who wouldn't want to be around me, right? And other days I'm like, ugh, I'm a piece of trash. I'm like goddamn trash panda out here. Why would anybody want to be around me? But luckily I say it jokingly myself. End of the day, I think you gotta be somewhat humble, but you gotta have. I feel like I'm somewhere in the looks wise, somewhere in the 7s. If I clean up, probably in the 8s. Some days, just throw me off the back of a fucking ship. Throw me into a dumpster, you know. Luckily between personality, intelligence, humor, I don't know, goddamn total package. Except for the times that the package ends up being a pile of garbage, you know. And it's funny, I see that too in the signs that are more dualistic signs, right? And then you find people they're like Leos or they're these earth signs, and they are like they are. They don't have the supreme high days and they're not like ever super anxious or super depressed. They're always just kind of like, I don't want to say Eeyore, but they're just like, it's kind of like it is. It is what it is. Does he look like different people on different days? Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that, and I've seen people that can do that. For me, that's hard to do. I'm always going to look like this, but versions of B. Did you go to sleep last night? Are you okay? Or damn, okay, but it's still, essentially this. No one's going to miss. I've only had a couple people go, oh, were you driving whatever? I was like, no, maybe a doppelganger, or maybe you just can't understand just because I have a beard and long hair. But there are people that I know. I was out the other day, and I swear that I looked at this girl and I was like, it was an ex-girlfriend of mine. I swear it was. But the way she looked at me was. It was somewhere in the middle of she's attracted to me, or she knows me and she thinks that I should probably go say hi because I haven't seen her in years, or she was like a super doppelganger. So that's like the opposite. You get doppelgangers, or you look like different people. I can't really do the shape. I mean, as much of a shape-shifting entity that I am, there's not much you can do to not look like this. It's weird because whenever you see someone, you don't really, at least for me, when I know someone, I can't really see them in too many different lights. Like I see them in different lights and they have different aspects of personality, but I don't even know who they are. You know, that there's a certain je ne sais quoi about their energy, a certain value to it. That they still are. I could see somebody fall off a bus, and I could see somebody give somebody CPR. And feed the homeless, and I can see somebody like puke on an old lady, and it's all the same to me. I know who that person is, and it's like there's that thing where other people you go, well, I didn't know you were like this. It's like when I'm goofy, people like they're like, oh, I didn't realize because you dress like this and you act like this, you're intelligent. How do you know all that shit? And then, you know, the people that I'm certain ways with, they're like, they can't quite figure it out. You look like a striking young lad in the wharf, slapping tuna. The tuna slapper. What up, branches? Unsins, I love the all day slapping tuna. And yeah, I know you're like in San Francisco at the wharf, and people are just, you smell like a bucket of yuck. It's covered in fish grease. Look like you got wrinkles that weren't there. Oily, just like beaten down, run down. You've been at sea, you got a pipe in there. And then you wake up a couple days later, clean up, take a shower, and you're like, oh shit, I'm a totally different fucking person today, huh? Intellectually learning and organizing neurons, watching cartoons as far as memory goes. Yep. Yeah, how would people, I mean, language, we've gone over this many times, but language is the code, but it also gets in the way of everything. It is simultaneously the most confusing part of reality and the thing that undoes the knot. I mean, obviously, people speak different languages, so right there we're off to a bad start. Even if you speak English, you still have different dialects within there. Even if you speak the same dialectic, you still have tone, and even within those tones, you have someone's perceptions. And so, you know, you go. Do these animals have language? Of course they do. This doesn't sound like yours, and it's more pure because they're not. The way they're learning is not instructed by people that want to dominate them. It's instructed by their mother, their father, their caregiver. Not in this society, not for humans. Until you can accept that the things that you're learning and the way you've learned language and the things that you do, and it is, you know, primarily instructed through people that don't have your best interests at heart, but want to manipulate and control you. Until you accept that, then you can't accept what language is doing. Birds are not like. Rarely are birds going to other things to be adopted. No bird's going to bird school. No tiger's going to tiger school. You know what I mean? The wharf. Aw, man, thank you, dude. Guinnesses, man. Let me see what time it is. Let me just make sure I got a little bit of. Let's see where we at. My juice on my phone. Yeah, I suppose it's a little bit of a walk from here, and my foot still is not. I made the mistake of doing. Remember you seen me the other day when I was walking through the Mardi Gras Indians, and the walk was miles, and so that I was drunk enough and had an Advil, which it took the pain away, but I probably shouldn't have, because now I'm dealing with the residual effects of that. So if I go walk to the store, I mean, I can always get a delivery. Funny enough, I could order delivery right here. If there's an address to this, I could go to the coffee shop and order delivery beer. That's fun. But yeah, thank you, man. It's 3 o'clock. I will take you up on that. And if it's not today, then I'll take you up on drinking something tomorrow. Because I still do have a little bit of this left. And again, a walk is a little bit. I wish I knew other corner stores around here, and I'm sure there's a few little ones, like little bodegas around here. I just don't know of them. I just know of my little spots. And also, if it's not Guinness, maybe how about we'll see what they have, because sometimes they trade out their Guinnesses and they get maybe oh, what's the yellow variety? It's not as dark. It's the same type of creamy, same size can. It's a draft beer, drought beer, however you want to say that. But it's a yellow color, but it's creamy. What the hell's the name of that one? I don't say Magners. That's a cider. I can see the can. It's yellow on top, black on the bottom. It looks like this other cider. Anybody got any info here on this? What I'm talking about? Oh, Boddingtons. Boom. Boddingtons. You know Boddingtons? See, Boddingtons, I think, is a fair trade-off. It's not... It's obvious. It's a little lighter. Has a little bit more sweetness to it. And it's a little more drinkable. You know, you have sessionable beers. Piss? Yeah, piss. Yeah, you do piss with the carbonation in it. Now, do you know what I'm talking about? Boddingtons? You should know that. I think isn't that originate from you guys over there? Well, when I say that, I'm talking about the whole of Great Britain, which Ireland and England are inside of. Is that right? Scotland, Ireland, and England are part of Great Britain. Is that the whole how that shit works? Yeah, we'll see what they have. Go to the shop and order a pack of Guinness to be delivered. I might just do that, man. I might just do that because there's an app called Drizzly, and they do delivery. We got to see though. I got to make sure there's a physical address that they'll deliver to. I mean, it's a shop, so it has to have an address. There's a mailbox there, so. Do it now. Well, here's the thing, though, Dave. Here's the thing. Here's the one caveat to doing that. If I order just that, I still got a tip, and I'm not gonna. If they bring me a 6-pack, or if they bring me 50 beers, I don't give a shit. I'm giving them the same amount because they have to do the same work. So I always over tip the drivers. So it would feel, and also if I don't order X number of dollars in delivery, then there's a delivery fee. So there's no delivery fee if you ordered this. It's kind of like when you're on Amazon and it's like free delivery. You're like, yes, I'll take that. Another place is like, nope, that'll be $4 delivery. I'm like, damn, did I just pay $20 for a 6-pack or a 4-pack? David A said, "Get it, just do it now, bitch." Yeah, if you say something ingratiating or ignorant or foolish to me, or call me names, that helps. If you make fun of me, be like, you fucking stupid moron, just go do it, you fool. I'd be like, oh, if I don't, I'm gonna be an asshole. I gotta go do that. Yeah, the nitro. Yeah, the Guinness branches. Yeah, you get the Guinness in the bottle, which is okay, or you get the Guinness in the can that has the nitrous canister. That's the better one, and it's cheaper too. I don't like the one off the bottle. Oh, Dave, I'm overthinking it. Well, if I order it, then I gotta get off of here with you guys. I can't do it both at once. Yeah, overthinking is of the analysis by paralysis, or paralysis by analysis. I got you. I was just trying to crush this shit first. I know it sounds like I'm making excuses. It does. I just know it's gonna take me hitting a bunch of buttons on the phone. This is severe laziness, and it's not laziness or apathy as much as it is. I'm an engineer, and I like things to work smooth and efficiently. And I just see that it's gonna cost me pushing buttons on the phone and having to go pull a card out and type numbers in and reload an address and look that shit up on a map. See? it's just as hilarious listening to me complain about it. Like, motherfucker, I just got you beer. Get beer. Like, well, if you just give it a second, sir. Branch of Starbucks is the only rainbow bar. You know what? I don't know the last time I've been to a Starbucks. It just seems like Louis C.K. said, like diarrhea in a cup. Like, here, $5 for me to shit in a cup for you. Put a lot of sugar and shit in there. It's not good coffee to begin with. And it's such a thing to go in there. Like, I don't get it. Just go to your fancy little local. Fucking cool, buddy. Let me make that shit for you. The one was like, oh, we got local roasted beans, and I got a tree in my backyard, dude. I picked them one by one. Go to that, motherfucker. Yeah, Unzens. Yeah, I'd rather. Funny enough, I'd had a little coffee today, which I did, in fact, brew myself. I did not make the beans, but I brewed it myself because. Oh, here's a little trick. I don't know if you guys have dollar stores or like Family Dollars. Is where all the cheap shit is. There's dollar thing of espresso, and it is some of the best espresso I've ever had and made. So it's $1, and you get like 8 ounces, which will make me, I don't know how many cups of espresso that is, like for $1, and I make it the way I want it with some little bit of heavy cream and some simple syrup, and I paid $2 in total for 10 cups. Or I can go to Starbucks and get fucking bent over the counter. Since spend $50 on it. I don't see the draw. I can do it better and tastier and quicker on my own. This is correct. This can be accomplished. This is why I should have gotten to the game where you have 2 phones. I gotta have my burner phone, so that way I could be doing this right now while I'm talking to you guys. I guess I gotta get on my Gary V, man. I gotta get on my hustle. I gotta figure. I think it's because I did so much hustling, running and getting the goals and doing the stuff and working hard and early in life that I got to the point I was like, I just don't find the reason to hustle anymore. For what? I walk kind of fast, but if we're strolling, I'd rather be just sitting chilling. Where the fuck we gotta go? But that hustle will get you. It'll get you $1 or $2. I need to get that grind on. Hey, Divine, that coffee shop is being built now. Nice. Haha. Hey, Branches, I would disagree with that to the extent that I know it's not only health but medicinal values, especially in terms of beer. Occasionally, alcohol can be like straight alcohol, spirit liquor. Because we're mixing with a lot of different herbs and certain fruit juices and things can be very helpful, but definitely wonderful for the soul. Even remember Soul Voice? He goes, "Hi guys, uh, I want to bring this very important message. Uh, I never knew this before, and I used to think alcohol was evil, and now I've come to realize." And he starts breaking down what alcohol and sandalwood, rubbing alcohol, drinking alcohol, and sandalwood was, and why they call it happy hour, and removing heat from the body, and why it's so good for the spirit and soul. And I was like, fuck yeah. But there's quite a bit of nutritional value in good beer, as long as it's not filtered. Certainly. Is it, whose quote is that though? Because I'll be clear as day here. If beer had no nutritional value, I would look like a fucking I would be fucked at this age. There's no way I've lived this long. Basically just drinking beer and alcohol and not consuming much food. There's no way that I'm consuming dense physical foods for its nutritional value, because I've done way more. I know of its nutrition. Yeah, yeah. In every way. In every way, man. I mean, you can look at it from the cleansative values for the body, outside, inside. You can look at cleaning your house, outside, inside, all the different the chemicals we use on everything, everyday life. We use vinegars and ammonias and acids and alkalines and all sorts of things. Yeah, they're trying to wipe out that, but as far back as you can see, the most intelligent cultures were always at least drinking wine, and then the closer you get to very hot weather in the middle regions, Midgard, the Mediterraneans, where the grapes were growing, lots of wine, it was flowing, Egyptian wine, right? You get farther south where it's hot, they're brewing beer. And they always said that they would put their pots next to another pot that was already brewing, because it would teach the new pot of beer how to ferment. Because they were using wild yeast, so that wild yeast was getting into the other. Oddly enough, there's a couple beers out there where, as a starter, the brewmaster took some of his beard hair and the yeast from his beard hair, put it into that, and used that as the starter with the yeast on it. Yeah, David. Yeah, I've had you have bad times. Of course, you have bad times being sober. You have bad times eating. I had McDonald's. I shit my pants later. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything has its possibilities, but if there's any go-to, okay. Here's a question for most people that some substances would you give up? What would you give up, like in line of the things that you interact with, consume? Like, would you take rest of your life, you could never touch any more beer, wine, liquor, no alcohol whatsoever, no drugs, no alcohol, get rid of them all, or never have sex again? Or do you take sex, no, none of that shit, or you take all that shit and never have sex again? What do you take? I think it's a difficult one. Now, why would I think that's difficult? Explanation? You can get beer, wine, drugs, alcohol anywhere, anytime, and you can also just go no, and you don't need it. Whereas pussy comes and goes. Sometimes you really, really desire it and it's not around, and other times it is just overflowing, and you're like, I can't. This is just too much. Where you can control your inputs of drugs and alcohol and things. Even though I don't really do drugs per se. Like, somebody gave me drugs the other day. I didn't take them. I was like, I'll just save this for later. Like, somebody gives me a beer, I'm gonna drink it. And if a chick offers me pussy, I might not take it. As good as sex is, I mean, cause you have sex, you have that 15 minutes and it's climax, you're there, and it's great, it's cuddling, and da 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 da. But alcohol, you can sit and chill and bug out for an entire day and have a really gorgeous day. So I think I would stick with the drugs and alcohol, honestly. Let's go. So at that point, wouldn't you ask yourself? You said you found a dog food brand that uses, high quality meat. Well, at that point, why wouldn't you just give the dog human food? Because you look at dog food, you're like, well, this is more expensive than what I eat, so why wouldn't I just give them what I eat? Because if you really think about it, before the invention of veterinarians and dog food, what were dogs eating? There's no such thing as dog food. There's just food. Dogs were eating food, and so they would get what you're eating. There was no special mix of this is what dogs eat, scientifically proven. Because as soon as they came up with a scientific qualified diet for dogs, they immediately after that found veterinarians that started taking care of all the dogs' health problems that they were having due to this scientifically dry pellet bullshit that the dogs are eating. You don't think you're treated any different? Started giving you all this scientifically based food and thinking this is going to be helpful and this is good. Let's genetically modify things. It's all part and parcel of the same system. It's the same reason McDonald's has a Ronald McDonald House. You eat McDonald's, you end up later in life all fucked up, and then your kids are all fucked up because your semen's fucked up. So now your kids gotta go to Ronald McDonald House. So what? So then what are they gonna give you? A Happy Meal for hanging out there? The thing that actually caused your DNA to be so jacked up. That's what dog food has done. Let's go. Oh yeah, go enjoy the poopy, man. You were thinking about eating some of the dog food. Hey, give it a shot, man. I know people that are into that. They're like, I ate Taco Bell the other day, right? Do I think that tastes or feels like human food? No. Is there a chemical and a looking back on childhood and memories thing that occurs? Yes, but I have. Hey, if the dog food is that good, maybe it's better than human food. Shit. Yeah, divine. Yeah, divine. Yeah, not. Yeah, you know what? It's the same with any substance. If you don't like it, you don't consume it. You don't like its effects, fucking don't do it. And there's plenty of things that I like. Me personally, I don't want to ingest that. There's some things that when people don't, I will try to encourage them to. Like when people are like fuck olives, fuck pickles, I'm like, you have no idea. Now is it not as bad tasting as you think it is because you've eaten it in the wrong way? But it is so extremely healthy for the body. Like fermented foods and pickles in general, and olives and what it takes to make an olive. Like it's a whole alchemical process that, like, how did they figure that shit out? There's this thing and they put it in this jar and they put this acid and then they take that out and clean that and put it in some oil. Who thought of doing that? Must have known something. And considering the word olive comes from the word like all alive, and what it does, especially when mixed with a good grade of oil. Man, there's lots of things that I think what you should do is you should occasionally find the bitter things that you don't enjoy. I used to not like bitter things, and now I find myself, because I find so much healthy benefits from bitter elements, because bitter is medicine, that there's a lot of bitter things that I don't squint at I don't do one of those things. Like, there's so many herbs that are so obscenely bitter that when you put them in tea, you don't want to drink that. No way. You don't want that. But I drink it, I'm like, yeah, because I know exactly what it's going to do for my body. My body feels different. Oh man. Oh, I bet, man. The olives in Spain, I bet, dude. I mean, you got tapas everything. And here, like, so the French, Spanish influence of Cajun, Creole, etc. cooking in New Orleans, like the muffalata, like that's a big sandwich here. The muffalata, man. Since you got 2 olive trees, that's awesome. Like, are they already starting to work? I don't know. How long does that take? Because like grape trees take what, 7 years if you're starting them from nothing to produce. Are olives somewhat similar in that sense? Yeah, man. Shit, the only thing that I can keep alive in the plant kingdom is there's one thing, and it's literally unkillable. That you can just forget to water it. You can't really overwater it. If you overwater it, you'll see a little bit of, it might get a little mold on it, and then you just get a little hydrogen peroxide, clean that shit off. But yeah, I mean, I've had indoor plants, but I always feel like I'm too nurturing towards it. Where I'm always like, oh, is it too dry? I don't know what to do here. It's so like houseplants I've had, I can keep them around for a little bit. But usually, I've had them when I had other people around me. So, other things to do, other things going on, or who? Did you water today? Did I water? Did we both water it? But yeah, the plant that I've had for a couple years now, shit, longer than that, a few years. Huh? Yeah, you just can't kill it. It doesn't die. Just it curls up, becomes brown, chills out, put water on it, and within 15 minutes, it's green again. Oh, dude. So, since you got your own, like, you got your own property. You're like doing the damn thing. But you got all this, some okra and peppers. What the fuck? Dude, you have a place like that's your house, bought, or you live in an apartment and you just have room? What's your business there? What do you? Cause see, the only reason I never got into gardening, your ghetto gardening. The only reason I never got into it, I haven't had. I've only lived in one place that I had enough space to do it, and I only lived there for a little bit. I had a whole backyard, and it would have been dope, but everywhere else, and I didn't have enough yard. I mean, sure, I've grown some things on, like when I lived in North Carolina, I grew a bunch of tomato plants. When I lived, I had some windowsill shit and some herbs and stuff, but well, shit. Well, if the world ever does, the zombie apocalypse comes, remember, everybody here is welcome. My place. I told you I could take over the entire building. Zombie apocalypse happens. Or we can always go hang out at Instances. He's not too far from here, and he's got food. You better start canning that shit. Oh yeah, yeah. Fucking what the fuck is his name out here? Ninja Turtle. He's trying to start a garden. He got a place down in Florida. You should link up with him. Fucking garden it up, boy. I mean, I guess it's kind of far because you're in what, Alabama? It depends on what part he lives in, I guess. Oh. Start a garden, dude. And also he's got some cool tools. He's got copper tools, and I've already put everybody on to why you should not use steel tools but copper tools. It's such a pain in the ass. You don't have food, but you got booze. Well, in the in the if apocalypse happens, as so many people have pointed out, the most important things to have are going to be booze, tobacco, and chocolate. Those three things. It's the go-to things. The people's general addictions, cravings, and what if you were just like, what would be so good? No one will turn down a piece of chocolate ever. And tradable items, food, because we're made the way we are. Once people have dealt with not eating, it fucking doesn't really matter that much. So then what becomes important? Getting a little buzz, smoking some tobacco, hanging out, smoking some ganja, weed. Tobacco is probably more important because weed's going to be just growing wild anyways. Distilling tomatoes. Oh, you got the chocolates. Yeah. Well, one of my favorite drinks ever was someone took oranges and made a fermented orange drink. So it's like, have you ever had gingeroo, like a ginger heavy duty ginger beer? But they use orange juice, which I thought was super good because it took off the acidity and add a little sweetness to it. And I mean, shit, as long as there's sugar in there, you could ferment anything, right? I just think it would be a pain in the ass with the tomatoes. That, like, how are you gonna strain it? That'd be a weird mash, right? I'm sure it's been done. Now you gotta look it up, or I'm gonna look it up. You're gonna look it up. Look it up. I mean, I'm going to as well, but figure that shit out. It's fermented tomatoes. I bet that could be dope, even like slightly fermented. If you slightly ferment something or turn it into like a kombucha style thing where it's a little bit slight vinegary, a little bit of alcohol, and you turn it into like a tomato sauce for pizza or something. There might be something cool there. Slightly fermented anything is kind of nice. I know a lot of people that slightly ferment foods that you'd be like, oh, that's rotten. They're like, no. Like once your body's used to digesting that, you're getting so many other nutrients in you. Haha, chocolate and alcohol. That's a party right there. Oh, nice. Uh-oh. Well, I think I'm gonna make moves from here. That way I can go collect beverages, and we can, because I don't know, it does look a little overcast extra right now, and I don't want to get stuck out here in the rain. So how about this? Let me go run to the store or get it delivered. We'll see where my foot's at as I get closer to home, and then we'll chitty chat in a bit. So hopefully everybody had fun, enjoyed the chat. Go look up at tomato fermentation, alcohol, tomato alcohol, And yeah, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all that shit. Description box is gonna help out. Take care of others after you take care of yourself first. That's most important. And yeah, have a weird day. Be strange. I should be back in a little bit. I don't know how long it will take me. So don't quote me on it, but like maybe an hour and a half. Take me about 30 minutes to get there. Yeah, we'll see. All right, everybody. Be weird. Have a fun day. Talk to y'all soon.